So let's kick off actually with you because you mentioned you had a problem with your making your lotions.
Yeah, when I make my lotion and mix it,
Mm-hmm.
I end up with a foam that when I put it in the container, it doesn't weigh as much. Like the first couple of containers, it doesn't weigh as much as the rest of the container because the foamy substance goes first there. So how do I
Okay.
get rid of the foam?
Well, you shouldn't be having any foam in the first place. So what are you using? What is your process that you're doing? Talk me through the process.
Um, I melt whatever need to be melted, the oil and the waxes, whatever I'm using. Then
Mm-hmm.
I mix. When I mix it with water, I let it cool a little bit, and
Mm-hmm.
then I use the hand mixer.
How long for?
That's the stick.
Yeah,
Maybe 2 minutes.
too
Is that
long.
too long?
Yeah,
Is it too long?
yeah, too long. You only need about 30 seconds.
Is it really? Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I used to be, well, I mean, this is the problem now, of course, with the books that are published. In my Creamy Craft book, I talk about stirring until it's cool. That's before I
That's right.
discovered handheld mixers. So I was stirring there for about an hour before I was ready to pour. But with the handheld mixer, you can mix the water in the oil and wax. And then you can leave it even for a minute or two, a few minutes while you're preparing all your bottles. Because it's not going to go cool that fast. And it's not going to, if you leave it too long, then you're going to get lumps. So it's getting that fine balance. So, for example, because you're a professional cream maker, basically you're selling for retail. How I used to do it was um, I would make my first batch. I would pour the water into the oil and wax first of all, and then leave it. Just give it a quick little stir, and then leave it. Then I would then start weighing my other products and put those on the heat. So I'd have a kind of
Okay.
like a circuitry going with the making of the products. So I'd get those on heating, and then I would go back and then I would use my handheld blender for about 30 seconds. Give it a stir again, just a
Mhm.
general stir. Generally, I find when you stir it with just a regular wooden spoon or a spoon, you get rid of the bubbles in a sense. But I never really get to the point where I had bubbles forming.
So 30 seconds is my max with
You could do a
handheld.
minute. You could do a minute, but really you don't need to do that much. And then
Okay. All
you
right.
can leave it again for a few more moments if you want to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Again, just to let it settle, and then you should be ready to pour.
All right. So, what about the temperature? I always in doubt. Do I mix it when it's 80 degree, 60
I've never
degrees?
used a thermometer in my life except for soap making, and right at the very beginning, now I don't even use it for
Mm-hmm.
soap making. I just, as long as you have it, the wax and oil melted, so I get it to where it's just melted. So there's no wax, that you can see in a form. And then the water, I just get to just where it's just below boiling point.
All right. Okay.
So it's hot, but it's not boiling away or bubbling away. So
Yes.
I've never had a problem. So I've never got to this thing where you have to have exactly the same temperature of each one to bring it. What you don't want to be doing is putting cold liquid into
That's right.
melted wax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Okay. And I'm always in doubt what temperature roughly to add the preservative, what temperature to add the essential oil. Do I add it before mixing, after mixing?
After
Probably
mixing.
before. Oh, after mixing.
Yeah, I usually what I've do with my creams is I mix them. I use my handheld mixer, then I add my preservative, and then I add my essential oils. By then, it's not bubbling away. It's not going to destroy the essential oils or the therapeutic effects of the essential oils.
And how
And
do you mix it? Just by hand?
oh, you can use the handheld blender again if you want to,
For
just to give it
okay,
for,
for a
for
few
a few
seconds.
seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right.
And then just let it settle. And then so basically you pour it into the jars or bottles when it's just cool enough that it's not going to crack the glass, if it's in glass, of course. And then it should be fine.
Okay, I'll try that again. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you have any problem, just get back to me again and we'll see if we can
Thank
sort
you.
out. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
No problem, Nada.